Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic related to Angular route guards, where we will see what would be the execution order or a sequence when we are implementing the route guards, and what evaluation rules are performed on the back of that logic. Okay, so these two important things we are going to discuss theoretically only, because I'm sure like most of you already know that we are doing it in a series. So before directly jumping to the practical concept, I just want to show you some of the important theoretical concept so that it would be easy for you to understand the ongoing topic. Okay, so that is the reason, like today and maybe in next two sessions we will just go through the theoretical part, and then one by one we will move ahead for the practical thing, where we will explore each and everything practically with example. Okay, fine. So today we will be discussing this route guard execution order and route guard evaluation rule. But before we proceed further, I just want to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic. Because for time being, we are just mainly focusing on these two things, like what is the execution order and what is the evaluation rule. But prior to that, you should know what is route guard, why do we need route guard, what is routing, and the basic concepts of routing. And for this content, like you can refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. From there you can take a reference and then you can make use of it and to understand the concept, and then you can continue from here. Okay, because there you will find more than 3000 plus sessions available in both Hindi as well as in English language, so you can take a reference from it. Alright, so let's get started from this session. Here you can see we have one heading that shows Angular 19 course by Sharmit. Post that, I have noted down some pointers that will teach us the concept of route guard execution order and route guard evaluation rules. So let's go one by one and discuss this thing. The first thing is route guard execution order. So when navigating, Angular checks guards in this order. So this is the order which we have noted down here. So in this order it will go one by one to explain the execution order. So first thing is can match. Okay, so can match, here you can see it checks if route should be considered. So can match is executed as per the sequence first when it checks if the route should be considered. Then we have second thing, that is CanLoad. So it checks if the lazy module should be loaded. So whenever there is a discussion regarding the lazy module, then in that case, when it is then it checks if lazy module should be loaded or not. Okay, then we have the third route that is route guard, that is CanActivateChild. Okay, so CanActivateChild checks the child route. Obviously, like if you are expecting a child route control, then in that case it will check for the child route. Okay, so like sequence and the thing are just related to their name itself. You can see here it is written CanLoad, so it checks if the lazy module should be loaded. Here it is written can match, check if route should be considered. CanActivateChild checks child routes. Okay, likewise we have other routes as well. The fourth one is CanActivate, which checks if route can be activated, which checks when route can be activated. And then we have CanDeactivate, which checks before leaving the current route. So it checks before leaving the route whether it is deactivated or not. So basically this is the sequence or the flow that processed, or maybe these things would be more clear when we are doing it practically. For now I just noted down these points just to explain you like how it goes, but practically we will verify each and everything. Maybe we will counter few of the points here as well. So don't worry, like if you don't know, if you don't get much from it, it's fine. Like we will revisit all these things with the practical session, because firstly I'll show you the commands, like how to create the routes and everything, and then we will one by one go for the further things. Okay, alright, so now here is one very important line, like after can route for CanActivate we have this checks if the route can be activated, and CanDeactivate means checks before leaving the route. But there's one important line, that is navigation continues only if all all guard returns true, or maybe a valid URL redirect. So this is very important line, because this will also clear your concept of evaluation rules. So here it is saying that navigation continues only if all route guard return true. So if all route guard are returning true, then it will process further and execute the further logic and complete the navigation. But in case if any of the route is returning false, then it is wrong, and in that situation it will not process further and it will not go and continue the navigation. But here the second thing is also there, which is a valid URL redirect. So let's say if any of the route guard is returning the valid URL tree, then in that case it will simply redirect to that particular route to complete the navigation. So we have two major conditions. One is all routes should return true. If it is not returning true, then at least one route, at least any of the route return valid URL redirect. In both cases it will process further for the logic, otherwise it will not continue the things. Okay, so this is very important thing. Now we will talk about the route guard evaluation rules, which will also help you to understand this line in proper way. The first thing is route guards run in order of appearance in a route configurations. Okay, so this is a self-explanatory line, that route guard runs in order of appearance in the route configuration. The second thing is, if any route guard returns false, then navigation is cancelled. As I explained with this line number 19, that let's say there is any route guard which is returning the value as false. So in that case, if any of the route guard is returning false, then in that case it will cancel the navigation. Okay, and if any route guard return URL tree, then in that case navigation redirect to that particular URL which is provided by the route guard. Okay, so both things are clear, I think, and once these pointers are clear, then it would be very easier for you to implement this thing, because now you know how it will execute and what are the rules that it evaluates. Okay, fine. Then we have fourth point, that Angular waits for async guards, observable and promise to resolve before continuing. So basically it checks for these things. Maybe those who referred the previous sessions, they know that we discussed about the types of output written by route guard. So there we discuss about the observable and promise, so which is used here. So here basically Angular waits for async guards, that is observable and promise, to resolve before continuing. So basically if you relate it with the normal scenario, then you can say that it checks for the it holds for the process, and once the issue is resolved, then it will move further for the continuation. Okay, so in this session mainly we discussed about these pointers. The first is execution order, where we talked about the can match, which checks if the route should be considered or not. Then we have CanLoad, that checks if lazy module should be loaded. Then we talked about CanActivateChild, which checks child route. Then we talked about CanActivate, which checks if the route can be activated or not. Then we talked about the CanDeactivate, which is just opposite to the activated. It checks before leaving the current route. And later on we have navigation, which continues only if all route guards return true or a valid URL redirect. This is not a point, but an important line which clarifies all the pointers. Okay. Then we talked about the route guard evaluation rule, which is very important, because here you will find out the exact scenarios or the condition where the route guard will be executed. So it shows guards run in order of appearance in the route configuration. If any guard returns false, navigation is cancelled, any of the route guard. If any of the route guard returns URL tree, then navigation redirect to that particular URL. And then the fourth one is Angular waits for async guard, observable and promise to resolve before continuing. So these are the all pointer which can be referred to answer the questions in the interview regarding the route guard execution order and route guard execution URL. Okay, So I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.